As we also reported a few weeks ago, the Australian government has created a bill to ban the use of social media platforms for anyone under the age of 16, even though the bill itself, quote, had widespread criticism for potential bill and many questions have been raised, will actually deliver the intended benefits. The Australian government is pushing ahead with the proposed regulation on social media usage, which will see users aged under 16 banned from social media apps. As per the bill, the Online Safety Amendment (Social Media Minimum Age Bill) of 24. The bill amends the Online Safety Act of 21. Online Safety Act will aim to apply a minimum age for social media use and placing responsibility on the social media platforms for safety of their users. Reported by the BBC, the ban, which will not take effect into at least 12 months' time, could see tech companies fined up to $1 million in Australian dollars. That's US of 3.2 million, or 25 million in pounds if they don't comply. Even though this still has big questions on how the app would go about policing it or ensuring that young people don't get around it using fake date births, VPNs, etc. However, the Australian officials feel that moving forward with the bill is still a good idea to help children's safety overall. Quote, the Australian government is yet to provide a strong framework as how the apps can be measured and through the violations of these laws. Right now, it's like every app will be judged based on their own procedures, which will mean that there's specifically different variables on enforcement. Meta has argued that the age restriction should be done at an app store level, as it would ensure that all apps are held to the same specific consistent standards. At this stage, the bill will be covering Reddit, Snapchat, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, X, and with messaging apps like WhatsApp and Messenger not taking part of the current proposal. Neither will YouTube, which will see potential problematic teams moving to these apps, like new platforms like Threads, Blue Sky, also are currently not listed on the scope and have potential holes related to restrictions on social media use. A point that has been raised in regards to banning a percentage of these apps for teen use is you are going to pull them away from you're not going to pull them away from messaging apps and video sharing websites such as YouTube. The following question is, how far would it likely to go? Are we planning to fully cover our children or one's children in bubble wrap? Or surely a better approach to help this situation would be, or help the safety of children, would actually just be to educate them on the risks and the concerns regarding social media use as a whole. This view is echoed by the BBC and Social Media Today, which are used for this the quotes in this article, or these articles related to the show that I'll link down below. The Prime Minister says that the legislation is needed to protect young people from the harms, quote, of social media, and some parent groups have echoed this, quote from the BBC. The government says it will rely on some age verification technology to impose these regulations. The option will be tested in the coming months, and the social media platforms will add processes themselves. However, digital researchers have warned there is no guarantee of using technology to potentially block this. However, there has been conversation related to what relies on biometrics or identity will work. Critically, there is obviously running into a privacy issue here as well. Last year, the French also introduced regulation to block social media access to children under the age of 15 without parental consent. For those doing research on this behalf, half of the users have avoided this ban by using a VPN. As reported within the Social Media Today blog that I'm using as part of the report for this story, quote, overall the team ban will be ill-advised, poorly structured, and has problems that may not even be a problem that exists. But the government is keen to show the parents that by taking action so much so that it's only 24-hour windows to submit appeals, which means that it will become law very soon, but the Australian government is keen to show world-leading leadership in this case, and really is likely to highlight the opportunity to put policymakers to potentially largely out of touch with the current modern online landscape. If a 16-year-old is using a social app, a 15-year-old will find a way to do the same, and a 14-year-old, and so on, as they look to keep with the latest the high school their peers. So they're looking to basically hang out on the same platforms. So this is basically a principle of making sense and protecting teens from online harm, banning them or shielding them, which is unlikely to be the answer in the long term. Many leaders have already said that, so let's see how this goes, and many people are looking, other countries are looking at this or around this to see how it goes, one of which being Norway, and others are likely to look into should their kids be on social media, or should they start regulating against those. What do you think? Do you think this is a good idea? Do you think this is, should we go the education route? Should we go the regulation route specifically? Who knows? We will have to wait, and we'll have to see how this plays out in Australia, and see whether it actually does the job that the Australian government believes it's going to do.